Welcome back to the stream, everybody. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the stream, we are broadcasting live out of the McMinnville Mead Hall in McMinnville, Oregon, where we serve mead primarily, but we also have plenty of good other imbibements for your drinking pleasure there. Good for gaming, that's for sure. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get rolling on in. So, we have our next session 0 here. This is going to be between Harry and Lucas, two of our phenomenal players here. Lucas, you find yourself running through a dark forest out in the middle of the Dorma Range. You have recently escaped from a caravan that you had been accompanying thus far before it was attacked by strange buzzing insects that had descended upon and drained so many of your guards of their life and blood. You managed to escape from this attack and booked your way into the wilderness, ducking between trees, between various stumps, roots, around ferns. You feel this kind of warm, humid air descending around you, this real smell of moss and mold and dank coming out of the leaf litter and the leaf rot below you. However, you hear this constant buzzing and hum of the insects in pursuit. Ducking between trees, you manage to avoid them long enough to find a small cluster of bushes and shrubs that you think you can get concealment behind. Ducking between these shrubs, you accidentally lose your footing as the other side of it was a small slope or a gully that tumbles down a short distance into a small glade. You tumble end over end, kind of in this somersaulting fashion down, managing to absorb most of the impact of it without too much trouble, but you settle to a stop down in this lower area, feeling a sense of sort of peace descend over you as you realize this is a very beautiful location, rife with bird calls, with strange kind of otherworldly sounds kind of pervading the wilderness around you, but not necessarily aggressive. The buzzing of the insects in pursuit fades away for the time being, and you feel yourself perhaps safe for the moment.
Well, now that I have a couple minutes to gain my footing, do I see any sign of civilization, humanoids, people in general around me?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
16.
Okay. As you look around, you see this is high wilderness here. There aren't really any signs of civilization around, no humanoid tracks or traces left, and really just this kind of strange, untouched feeling of the wilderness here. However, you do see a small flash of fur as a pale yellow creature seems to duck into a bush nearby the pond.
I want to slowly approach it, not to startle it, but just curious what it is.
Okay. Harry, as you have been startled out of your reverie by the sudden sound of tumbling rocks and underbrush as a kind of cherry-skinned individual tumbles down into your clearing, you dart beneath a bush and observe carefully what is going on here. I want you to go ahead and roll at this point it's a little behind, so you're going to give me a stealth check anyway.
Very appropriate. 3.
Yeah, okay, that's about right.
I'm just kind of walking up. Come here, little guy.
Okay.
What's your name?
You see the ferret. You see the individual approaching you as you're kind of secluded in the bush.
How close is the nearest tree?
The nearest tree is probably only about 10 feet away from you.
I am going to try to sneak over to the tree, up the tree, and out on a branch where I can watch what he does when he gets to the bush.
Okay, stealth check. Perception check.
Oh, that's going to suck. That is an 8.
11.
Okay, you see what you can now see to be a ferret skulking out from the underbrush, moving towards a tree, trying to duck between various low-lying plants and undergrowth there towards the ground as he is making its way towards the tree.
Oh, it's all right, little friend. I wasn't trying to disturb you. You said there was water nearby, correct?
There's a pond nearby.
Okay. I kind of look back at the ferret and then just kind of start untangling my flask for water, and I start filling it up in the pond itself, kind of taking a few moments to catch myself since I've been meandering about. And as I'm doing it, I'm just kind of looking around, enjoying what I'm seeing.
Okay. Harry, what are you doing during this?
I am going to continue to climb up the tree and out onto a branch where I am hopefully above and watch him and see what he does
Okay.
after he finishes with what he's doing.
You're currently perched up there, and you can see this individual. Lucas, why don't you go ahead and describe your character here?
Like he said, kind of a darker cherry skin tone to my 6-foot tiefling skin. Small kind of gazelle-style horns protrude from my forehead with my long black hair kind of pulled back in between it. I'm wearing a very well-dressed button-up shirt with a vest and a tie. I look quite professional in my attire with a kind of cloak and a small explorer's pack on my back. Just kind of looking around with amusement and awe of where I am. I've never seen something so beautiful before in my life. I've read about it in books before, but this is amazing.
All at once, I'm going to have each of you roll a perception check.
As I'm looking around, I have a 4 for perception.
A 4. Okay.
Is it hearing or smell related?
We're going to make it hearing. Yeah.
Hearing, okay. Then I have advantage. A 17 plus 3 would be 20.
20. So, Lucas, you are currently wrapped up in this revelry of the surroundings here. It kind of is taking you aback. It almost has this vaguely enchanting quality to the woods in this area. However, Harry, you being far more acclimated to this kind of vibe are still very attuned to the surroundings here, and you can hear this intense kind of whirring sound come. As what it sounds like several figures are approaching out of the wilderness, moving in towards this glen here. What are you going to do?
Do I see anything?
Looking around, 20, I'm going to say you focus your vision as hard as you can, and you can see distant figures kind of buzzing between the trees coming closer. It's hard to make out exactly how many of them there are, but it looks to be something flying and vaguely insectoid.
Okay. Do I have... How thick is the branch I'm sitting on?
The branch you're sitting on, probably diameter-wise, about 10 inches, roughly. It's pretty thick.
Okay.
Like about that big around there.
Okay. So suddenly, in place of the ferret, there is a vaguely elvish figure sitting on the branch, looking at these things.
And I'm going to assume that you've kind of kept an eye on the ferret since he didn't really get out of sight of you. You just didn't do anything about it as he was climbing the tree.
I didn't want to scare it more than I have.
So you see, as this ferret kind of perched up in the branches looking down at you, suddenly it's kind of confusing to you almost. Your vision flickers for a moment, kind of in this disorienting fashion, and suddenly it's not a ferret sitting there anymore. And I want you to go ahead and describe your character there, Harry.
Okay, there is a vaguely elven-looking figure sitting in the tree, wearing gray leather and strawberry blonde hair, gray leathers, black gloves, black boots, and rapier on one hip, a bone dagger on the other hip, and a longbow across her back. Their back. His back. Its back.
Hello. Shh. Why are we quiet?
Something's coming.
At this point, you now can hear the buzzing sound kind of approaching, and it is familiar to you, that's for sure.
Oh, shit.
It's kind of caught up with you.
I'm going to instantly cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay, as you put your hand on yourself, I want you to go ahead and describe what Mage Armor looks like for you.
As I put it on my chest, this kind of dark, smoky energy starts to apparate around my chest and my forearm.
Okay.
Just very faintly, just like a small steam almost, kind of dissipates off me, and it kind of displaces a lot of what I'm wearing to where it seems like I just now have smoke armor on almost.
Okay, so from where you press your hand against your chest, you can see this kind of watching down towards your companion here. You see this kind of black smoke billowing out from what appears to be a small obsidian gem embedded into a ring he holds. It flows out from his hand and coalesces across his form, shrouding him in this smoky darkness. And at this point, you are going to see the creatures actually beginning to come in. There's 2 of them currently approaching. What are you going to do? You have a little bit of time before they fully arrive.
These have been chasing me for some time now, and
are they within 150 feet?
At this point, we're going to say yes, and if you're going to start something, we're going to roll initiative. So, why don't we go ahead and get rolling here? Okay.
Just bought these dice, and they're already betraying me.
Where is that? Right. Okay. Okay. So, we're gonna go ahead and roll in here. Take it. All right. Harry, what's your initiative?
14.
14 for Harry. What's your dexterity?
My dexterity is... just a moment, once I get to it. Takes me a moment on this. 17 in my human form.
17. Okay. And Lucas, what's your initiative going to be?
8.
8! Perfect! Okay.
We're quick.
Okay.
I'm very fast.
As they come on in, we're going to go ahead and put our board out here.
The goal is not to die.
The goal is not to die this day, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't have much to keep me alive at the moment.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Alrighty. Incidentally, Bridget and Nolan made these for us. You've met Nolan. Nolan was our marvelous Australian accented artificer a little bit ago. Bridget, you're going to meet next week. Good?
Spoilers.
Spoilers? Hey, there it is. Well,
No,
you know, it's like...
I did not know Nolan's class until now.
Oh, well, that's fair.
That's
Okay.
fine. We were going to find out sooner or later.
It's true. All right.
Yes, in 2 weeks.
For the benefit of the party here, for the viewers.
Yes.
Okay, where did I put the other one? There we go.
Spoilers, sweetie.
Okay, so Kaz, we have a mini already. There we go, perfect.
Just got it today from being printed.
Okay, off to the
By
side
Roberto.
here. So the lake is kind of off to this side here. The insects are coming in along here. The gullies are kind of, the walls of this gully are kind of off to the side here. So this is sort of the valley moving through. Alrighty, and, oh, actually, we got these cool things. So we're getting 3-dimensional already with it, ladies and gentlemen. So they're coming kind of down from over here. And for the purpose of this one, we're going to be using dice because it turns out bugs are hard to differentiate. So we've got number 1 over here and number 2 over here. Now as they're coming in, these things, Kaz, you've already seen them before, but Edlinn, you are currently a little uncertain about them. These are gigantic, kind of mosquito-looking creatures hurtling through the trees towards you. I know, your favorite. They are about a little smaller than a person, but they are large, big creatures. These long, dripping, spindly, needle-like proboscis coming from their faces there that seem to already be a little bit coated in blood. You don't know why that would be. Lucas, you do know why that would be. All right. So, step one, Edlinn, you are first.
Longbow.
Longbow. All right. Which one are you shooting? Number 1 or number 2?
The closest one.
Number 1.
That would be a 12.
That'll be a 12. Unfortunately, that will not hit as these creatures zip sideways out of range there. Next one is going to be, all right, Sturge Juice coming up here. They're both kind of moving in about the same time, so it's going to be, and they move fast, so it's going to be coming around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And they're going to go ahead and take a, kind of hovering there, they're going to take the dodge action, giving disadvantage on any attacks against them. All right, moving in a very kind of haphazard fashion that's hard to follow. So that brings us to Kaz.
I'm gonna run forward and diagonal towards that large boulder there.
Okay, that's
my 30 feet.
5, 10, 15, 20.
Then yeah, towards me.
30.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Are we doing a dash action or anything?
No, I'm 60 feet away from number 2, correct?
You are 60 feet away from number 2,
I will
yes.
cast Ray of Frost against him. I need a... Oh, I need to make a spell attack. With disadvantage.
Okay.
16.
16 will hit.
Ah, beautiful. That's going to be
very nice. Number
D8 of cold damage.
Okay.
And its movement speed is reduced by 10 feet until the end of my next turn.
1 point of damage. So, although these things do not look very sturdy, this one only manages to clip it across its leg. It ducked out of the side just in time, and you take 3 of its legs off of its side, which tumble to the ground in kind of these crystalline appendages towards the floor where they shatter. However, the creature is still standing. Okay. Anything for your bonus action, Kaz?
No, that will be unfortunately it.
Okay, that brings us back to Edlinn. Edlinn, you're still sitting up in this tree here. These creatures approaching, seemingly locked onto you at this point.
How far up in the tree am I?
You are currently about, we're going to say about 20 feet up.
20 feet, that's too high. Then I shall shoot again.
Okay, which one?
Number 1 again.
Number 1, roll to hit at a disadvantage.
At a disadvantage. And that is not going to hit.
Let's silence those phones real quick. Okay, so unfortunately, again, the arrow shoots off and embeds itself in a nearby tree. Brings us to the Sturges. So they're going to zoom in, clustering around Edlinn, who's currently perched up in the tree here. And they're going to bring their attacks in towards you there. So, first attack is going to be a 10 to hit.
No.
Okay, the first one you easily dodge out of the way of. The second one is only going to be an 8 to hit. So you kind of, as these two spear-like appendages jab in towards you from these buzzing insects, you manage to deftly dodge out of the way of each of them, bringing us back to Kaz.
I'm going to look off in a direction that I would feel like I could get away. Think about it for a second. Damn it. And I'm going to throw a firebolt at number 2.
Number 2, okay, roll to hit. Not disadvantage this time, man.
Not disadvantage.
Yeah.
13.
13. Unfortunately, that one will also be dodged as the creature zips out of off to the side there. It kind of hurtles harmlessly up into the canopy. Brings us back to Edlinn. Edlinn, you are currently engaged with 2 of these creatures.
Rapier.
Rapier, okay. Go ahead and roll to hit. Which one? Number 2, 1 or 2?
1 again.
1.
And that will be a 19 damage.
That will hit. Yes. Go ahead and roll damage.
And that will be 9 damage.
9 damage as you deftly one flick of the wrist and you manage to carve open the abdomen of this creature. It tumbles to the ground dead. Uh-oh.
Nice job.
So does Edlinn. All right. Very nice. Okay. Any movement or bonus action, Edlinn?
Second attack.
Oh, yeah. Offhand there? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
That will be a 13, unfortunately, which does not hit.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. That brings us to number 2 here, which is going to continue its attack on Edlinn with another jab of its beak there. That is going to be a 16 to hit.
That will hit.
That will hit. Okay. So, that one is going to be...
Yeah, it's way too close for that.
All right, so as this creature jabs its beak into you there, you take 4 points of piercing damage, and the creature latches its legs around you, clamping onto your back as it begins to pull blood out of your body. So far, you haven't really lost any blood yet, but it definitely has jabbed into you and is hanging on tight. So that'll end its turn, bringing us back to Kaz.
I'm going to throw another firebolt and try and get it off of her.
Okay.
12.
Unfortunately, it kind of ducks out of the way again and manages to avoid it, kind of shambling around Edlinn's form there.
I'm gonna run towards the base of the tree with my 30 feet and just start yelling at the bug to come after me. Hey, get off of her, you little bugger! Get over here!
Okay.
Just trying to get its attention.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me real quick.
Oh, sure. 24.
24? What? All right, so as you do this, the creature kind of like turns, you can see it turns attention towards you. And you can see it locking gaze with you, but it seems to be focused on its current meal, but you've drawn its attention.
Damn.
Okay. And that is going to bring us to back around to Edlinn again. Edlinn, go ahead and take your turn.
Rapier 22?
22, yep, that'll hit. Roll damage.
Oh. That will be 11.
11 points of, wow, holy moly.
D8 plus 3.
Huge. All right, and it's almost like you've got it where you want it. You jam the rapier up, you see the back of this shiny metal pierce through the creature, which trembles before it releases. You feel this kind of like, you know when you get like a hair stuck down the back of your throat and you pull it out? That's what it feels like when this proboscis gets, oh God, it feels so weird. And you pull that out as it tumbles to the ground dead. However, the buzzing continues as you see another one coming in from the side over here. That's fine. We're just gonna do that instead. Okay. All right. As one comes in from the side back here and begins to move in towards you. It only can get about this far, buzzing closer. And another is also going to be coming in from this direction over here, ending up about here. Third is going to also be buzzing through the trees down in this direction, coming in from this side. All of them seemingly focusing in on Kaz this time. However, that'll bring us to Kaz's turn.
I was going to move.
Oh, yes, let's have you move then.
20 feet down.
Okay. You kind of climb down the tree there. Very good. Right. And at this point, are you looking to climb it or are you looking to just jump down?
I'm going to climb down 10 feet and drop the last 10.
Okay, sounds good. So that would consume 20 of your movement then, and we'll go ahead and have you go.
I'm going to stop with my back to the tree.
Okay, so you kind of stop yourself there. Your back covered, good. And then we have Kaz.
I look towards the elven person who I've seen so far. You wouldn't happen to way out of here, would you? And I'm gonna make my way kind of towards this tree, towards us.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, down over here?
Yeah, just right there is perfect.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw another firebolt at number 6.
Okay, number 6, go ahead and roll to hit.
Jeez. Do I have to re-roll because it wasn't in here, or
No, you're fine. Yeah, if it rolls face up, then it's good, unless it's cocked.
10?
Okay. Unfortunately, the firebolt shoots off into the trees harmlessly. Okay. That brings us to the top of the round here. I'm going to give Edlinn a chance to respond to these newfound enemies.
All right. It looks like about 10 feet forward to stab number 5.
Yep.
10 feet forward and stab at number 5.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
That would be an 11, so that will not hit.
Unfortunately, will not hit.
And
Offhand attack.
That will also not hit.
Okay, 1 second here.
And
Okay, cool. Yeah, so 2 slashes in, this thing kind of is kind of ducking up and down, very hard to actually get a beat on, and that brings us to number 6 here. It is going to fly down 5, 10, and across the ground towards Kaz here, and is going to make an attack against Kaz. It's going to be 16 to hit?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you take 4 more points of piercing damage here as the proboscis jams into your side. The creature again wraps its legs around. You feel exactly what Edlinn must have gone through as you feel your blood being pulled out of your body. You feel this kind of lightheaded sensation as you're almost decompressed. And that'll end its turn, bringing us to number 4 here, who's also going to come around over here and make another attack against Kaz. This one rolls a 10 to hit.
Oh, misses.
No, okay.
Thank God for mage armor.
It jabs in, but the strange smoky shadow that encompasses you manages to make its attack kind of go wide here. Mm-hmm. It does not manage to get any purchase. Number over here. First, we're going to have. There we go. Yeah, and then Sturge 5 is going to make its attack against Edlinn there. So. And that's only going to be a 7 to hit. So, nope, you duck out of the way, no problem. That brings us to Kaz. Kaz, what are you going to do?
Nothing I can do against the 2 next to me without disadvantage. So, seeing her being attacked by that one, I'm going to load up another firebolt in my hand. I'm just going to hurl it like, little help! And I'm going to throw it at that one.
At number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
22.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
And that's a D10. 3 points of fire damage.
3 points. So, Edlinn, as you are kind of ducking and weaving around this thing, you're prepping yourself for another flurry of blows, when all of a sudden, there's kind of an impact from behind, and its entire form just combusts from the inside out. Its various carapace kind of shatters and tumbles to the ground. These flaming giblets and bits, no longer a threat to you as it tumbles to the ground. All right, this one is dead. Okay, that ends. I'm assuming that's gonna end your turn there.
Yeah, I got nothing else I can do.
Okay, cool. That'll bring us to Edlinn.
Instead of moving, well, I may move in a moment, but I am going to shoot the one that's stuck in him.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Ooh, that is a 19 plus 5 is 24.
That'll definitely hit.
And that is a D8 plus 3.
Okay.
Since someone told me I could have a longbow since I'm of the Fae, that will be 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage as, and that was, I believe, number 6 there. As this arrow, it's kind of a turnabout moment there. You launch this fireball, this thing is pulling out of you, and you see it combust and hit on this creature that was attacking Edlinn, and then just in almost the same exact moment, they draw a bow, pull it back, and fire an arrow across the field, sinking into the one that was attached to you. It kind of quivers for a moment, and falls down to the ground dead. Number 6, do be gone. There we go. Very nice. That brings us to number 4, which is going to continue its attack on Kaz. That's going to be a natural 20. Woof.
It's good knowing you.
Yeah, it's fun while I was playing, guys.
It's gonna be 7 points of damage to you overall.
I'm unconscious.
All right, Kaz falls to the ground unconscious as this thing is now jammed into his body there. Edlinn. Oh, actually, sorry, Kaz. Go ahead and roll a death saving throw. It's now your turn. So.
You count. I'm calling that a leaner.
That is
the
cocked.
purple. Yeah.
That is not.
5.
All right, you feel yourself sinking down. It's almost like you're tumbling into a pool of water. This darkness descends over you, and you feel this cool sensation touch your skin, this feeling of weightlessness as you drift deeper and deeper into this black abyss below you. All right, and that brings us to Edlinn.
The thing is not within 30 feet of me, so I cannot get to it by running, so I will shoot it.
Shoot it! Shoot!
And that will be a 15 plus 5 is 20.
That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
And that will be 8.
8 more points of damage as another arrow sinks in and fells this final sturge here. You can see it kind of tremble for a moment, then tumble off the unconscious body of the person, of this cherry-skinned individual you've
Then I will
encountered.
run towards the cherry-skinned individual.
Okay, rushing over to his side there. What do you do?
Loot the body.
That's the other row.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
I try to bandage him.
Okay, sounds good. Roll a medicine check.
I so suck at this.
Ooh.
Maybe I don't suck at this. Apparently I'm better than I thought I was. That will be an 18.
So, it's not really something you have trained for. However, you just kind of see, hey, there's a sucking side wound here from where this thing's proboscis went in. So you manage to grab you find a series of leaves and whatnot and slap them on there and manage to seal the kind of pressure differential there so it isn't quite so there is now a protective layer over the wound, and you bind it in place with a series of bandages and twine that you have on your person there. You manage to stabilize Kaz.
Okay.
Excellent. All right, Kaz, I want you to go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw here.
I think that's a cocked one, but I'll go. Oh.
Just re-roll it if you're not certain. Yeah.
It was on the edge of it, and I didn't want to be that guy. 9.
9 total?
Yeah.
So you feel yourself no longer in this abyss. You feel this kind of comfortable, just unconsciousness wafted over you. Sort of dreams of your time, of large wheels, of the plumes of steam that rise up from your home. This kind of constant thrum of activity that moves through all around you on the various Dernod streets. And you find yourself not necessarily peaceful, but not dying. So that's good.
I die right now.
I want to listen and see if I hear any more buzzing.
Okay, roll a perception check.
That'll be a 19 plus 3, 22.
22. So, giving a listen, you can hear more buzzing in the distance. It isn't necessarily getting closer at this point, but it definitely is ominously kind of moving around your location here.
Can I tell which direction it's coming from?
It's kind of coming from mostly here, here, and here. Looks like the direction towards the lake is fairly clear.
Then I shall try and lift that person up. Well, how big are you?
6 foot.
Yeah, I'm going to try and drag this person.
Okay.
I'm 6'2", so.
Man, this party is svelte. All right, so
Tiny.
Yeah.
I am a tiny little... whatever I am.
A tiny little person there.
Yes.
You try and lift up and... I'm gonna have you roll an athletics check for this one.
Left my fat body around.
Athletics. I actually have a positive number for a change. A 14.
A 14. You do manage to lift him up, and with every ounce of your strength, you pull Kaz along the ground here, kind of towards the lake. You're moving at half speed, but you are successfully pulling him away from the buzzing sounds that are kind of circling about, and you get him over next to the lake there.
Okay, I'm going to... How big is the lake?
The lake is really more of a pond. You know,
then I'm going to try and get around to the far side of the pond from the buzzing.
Okay, so you kind of
him not through the pond because I don't want to get his wound wet or my wound wet. I'm going to go around the shore.
All right. So as you're moving about, with that perception check, you would hear a sudden kind of, and all the buzzing in the forest goes silent. It's a very strange, sort of ominous feeling that descends over you as what was a very hostile situation suddenly grows calm. Birds begin to sing again.
I'm sorry, if I hear a whoof and the buzzing suddenly stops, pretty sure something hostile just happened. Just saying.
That is what Edlinn immediately gets kind of the hair on the back of your neck begins to stand up, and all at once you see a rustling in the bush nearby. You draw a bow, and as you pull and aim towards the source of this noise, a small figure appears out of the brush. It is a rabbit. Just a normal-looking rabbit, other than a long kind of coiled horn that comes from its forehead directly outwards. It kind of hops into the clearing, and you do a little bow to it.
Morning, brother.
It looks towards you, kind of cocks its head a little bit, and waggles its horn in this kind of charming motion of greeting there to you, and then it hops closer and seems to be going for Kaz. As it comes closer, you can see there's something tied to its horn, a small cloth bag that seems to have objects or something within it. As it approaches, it dips one horn down, boom, taps Kaz on the shoulder, and you feel yourself return to consciousness.
Oh my... hello?
Hello.
Hello, I guess.
It kind of waggles its horn again a little bit in greeting. And then it drops its head down, kind of shakes it a little bit, and the cloth bag falls off of its horn and falls to the ground next to you. It looks back up towards you, looks towards Edlinn.
Thank you, my friend.
One more little waggle of the horn, and then vanishes in a puff of light.
Friend of yours?
I was thinking it was a friend of yours.
Never met him before.
I've never met a rabbit with a horn or a ferret that turns into an elf. Where am I?
Well, we're still in my glen, actually.
Oh, this is yours?
Well, sort of.
Oh.
It's the first place I found when I came here.
Oh. And do you know where here is relative to, I guess, there?
Which there?
Like, I'm sorry. I kind of set myself up. My name is Kaz.
I'm Edlinn, thank you.
Edlinn, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well.
I'm trying to make my way towards a town, or possibly an inn or somewhere. Are you aware of anything nearby?
I
do remember the village that I was taken to earlier, right?
You do. So that village, a little off the beaten path, that's for sure. You were taken to Turis.
Okay.
Which, those of you who want to see our awesome map again, I'm going to plug this as often as possible because it's so cool looking. Turis is right over down here. It's most of the way to Bara. It's kind of a small town, mostly subsist off of fishing and whatnot. Right. Fairly minor league.
And
but
where are we in the hills?
So currently you are right about here. Not all, yeah, sort of near the Krondar Forest, but just across from Durnod and this pass right through here, you'd be right here.
Okay. Well, there is a pass and a road nearby. I only know where one village is in this place, but it's quite a ways away. In the meantime, perhaps we should check out whatever present your friend brought you.
Guess I shall. And how big is this this thing that the rabbit dropped off?
It's not large. It is a fairly small purple, almost velvet-feeling parcel. Very nice material, shockingly so for being this far out in the wilderness. And, excuse me, taking a look inside it, you find one potion of healing, a standard potion of healing, 30 gold pieces, a tiger's eye worth 10 gold pieces, as well as 2 silver bracelets, each with a small trinket, kind of a charm on it in the shape of a sturge, as well as a note.
What does the note say?
What language is the note in?
The note is in common.
Thank you.
Would that be Kaz with an S or Kaz with a Z?
With a Z, yes. This name, am I familiar with it?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
Oh boy. This is gonna be... 19.
So, Frednick Summerwald is He's a very obscure figure. He is not one that often appears in the limelight, though his name appears kind of in conjunction with various important events. A character who's not necessarily the creator of great deeds, but seems to be always just approximate to them. A character who is,
of course. Thank you.
Sort of a how should I put this here? An accessory, but not necessarily the instrument. But the sheer number of situations in which this character has appeared as sort of a supplementary character leads many, especially from your background, to believe there's something more to this character, and you actually would be aware that there are many who look for this person.
I take the healing potion. Are you doing okay? Do you need this?
I'm mildly injured, but
I'm guessing I'm at 1.
You're at 1.
I think I'll take this one for right now.
I would if I were you.
I'm gonna take one of the bracelets and 15 gold of the 30 gold. Here, and I hand that over to you.
Why, thank you.
Well, thank you for saving me.
You saved me first. It's only fair.
It looks
do you know
like
where this Lake Capel is?
Am I familiar with Lake Capel?
Lake Capel is near in the Relgar Riverlands. It is little ways, like quite far towards the coast. However, you for sure would be aware of its general location. Lake Capel, I showed this earlier, is going to be this one right here.
Okay.
So it's at one end of the pass we're near.
And it's going to take you probably a little less than a week to get there, but definitely is within reaching in that time frame.
Okay.
For those of you who are not sure, do you care to read this one, or would you rather keep it? You both have read it at this point?
Yeah, I gave it to her to read. It's up to you. If you want to read it to the group,
Yes. Well done indeed on surviving this harrowing ordeal. You are both far from home, and a great many more dangers lie ahead of you. However, it is clear you have the potential to rise above these challenges and surpass the expectation of your lineages. My master is looking for those such as you who have bucked tradition and set out upon their own path. To that end, you are invited to participate in a gathering on Lake Capel, where you shall meet with other kindred souls who seek a new direction. Be there in 1 week's time, and your questions shall be answered. Warmest regards, Frednick Summerwald.
You can hold on to that.
I will definitely take that, and I'll fold it up and I'll put it in one of my books and put it back in my bag. I'm actually familiar with this individual. There's many tales of individuals associated with this person, Frednick. And I don't know about you, but this is an adventure that I've been looking for, honestly.
Well, I have nothing better to do for the next 24 or so years, so I might as well.
Oh, well, if you have the timetable open, I'm glad to hear that. I'm not very good in the woods. Do you know how to traverse the wilderness?
Yes, I can take you to the nearest road, which would be the pass I was telling you about. That would be about... Do I know about how far the pass is from my glade?
So, there aren't really passes through the...
You said there was the road in the pass.
There is a pass, but there isn't a road necessarily.
Oh, okay.
So it's much more of a smuggler's highway, as it were. Most people do not move through the Dorma range lightly, and those who do are often doing it to avoid notice. Things such as this large scourge attack are a common problem that prevents many normal, more upstanding merchants from taking this route. Some extremely reckless Savoyans, who are merchants in this world, are known to attempt it in order to cut out the various middlemen on the way around the southern route to get from Abinloch to Durnod. However, this is not a road that is taken or maintained in any real sense. So it's much more of a pathway, half game trail, half vague wagon rut through the mountains.
Which explains why I know it's there.
In all fairness, I think maybe we're better off just
heading out of the mountains. Which side of the mountains did you say this lake was on?
It's on the western side, from my understanding.
Okay, that would be this direction, and I'm just going to start walking.
Okay.
I drink the healing potion. It brings me to full.
Okay, sounds good. Nice.
I rolled a 3 and a 1 plus. It's 2d4 plus 2, right?
For a normal healing potion, it's just 1d4.
Oh, is it just 1d4?
Yeah. Let me double check that and make sure. But I am
normal
90% sure.
Normal healing is 1d4.
Oh, no, you're right. Sorry. 2d4. My bad. Mm-hmm. 2d4 plus 2.
I'm full.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So you're feeling much better. The various wounds inflicted by the scourges heal up and seal up around you, and you feel strength return to your form.
Well, finally on an adventure. And I follow after her, and I collect my stuff and I follow after her.
Okay. Edlinn, go ahead and give me a survival check here as you begin to make your way into the wilderness on your way westwards towards the Relgar Riverlands.
I'm going to leave my mage armor on.
Okay.
It's there for 8 hours, so.
May as well, yeah.
That would be a 12.
Well, actually, it's not a concentration spell, is it? That's right. Boy, it's such a good spell.
Yeah, well, especially when you have a 9 AC without it.
Yeah, that is accurate.
12.
Okay, so you do manage to kind of get back up to where the path was that you were following, Kaz, before this incident. You can see in the distance kind of smoke coming up further down the road, or further down the rough-hewn pathway that, Kaz, you're coming down. And Kaz, seeing this, you kind of feel like, yeah, that's probably where I was coming from.
We're heading to where I was running from?
No, you're heading away from there at this point. You kind of come out, you left the path, headed down in sort of a northward, northwestward direction, had your encounter, and then are moving back in a southwestward direction. So you end up fairly far down the road from where you encountered these things initially.
Gotcha.
All right. You get back on the pathway and you begin to move towards the west, down where you begin to feel mist and rain moving in from the ever-present water and precipitation of the elemental realm of water further out that direction. You proceed down through the mountains, enter the forests, and eventually make camp further down, where you establish sort of a rough, and give me another survival check for this, for establishing camp.
That would be a 14.
A 14. You find a fairly secluded spot to bunk down. Do you build a fire or not? It is cold this side of the mountain, incidentally.
I kind of try and make a little fire, and then I just kind of ignite my hands and just kind of put it inside and light it on.
Okay. You get a small fire going, begin to settle down for the evening. And are you taking watch, or are you going to go ahead and stay for the night?
If you wish to rest, I don't need that much sleep.
Are you sure? I don't...
I'll wake you in 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I'll take the next watch, and I'll get some sleep.
Okay. All right, go ahead and roll a perception check.
That would be a 19.
A 19. So, as you are settling in for the evening, looking around, you're now no longer in the mountains so much, you're in the Krandar wilderness, which is a dense area of woodland to the western sides of the Dorma range. This place is not so wild as Dorma, but is still known to be fraught with its dangers. And as you settle in to rest, you hear a faint creaking in the branches above you. Looking up that direction, you see a figure perched in the trees, looking down upon your campsite there. It is humanoid, though with these strangely sort of feline features to her. A character whose eyes glow blue and silver in the firelight dancing up above. Staring down at you, not really saying anything.
All right, and my glowing green eyes are looking back at them. With dark vision, which would give me black and white, but no color, so I would not know what color they are, but they probably don't know what color I am. So I will just look up there and go, well, hopefully you'll be joining us then.
She kind of moves down and then flips down completely upside down as she kind of crawls down the tree trunk towards the ground here, settles along in the bottom and settles back on her haunches just outside the firelight. Still these glowing, bright silvery eyes looking in towards you. You'd see she is seemingly naked, though has this kind of this fur covering her entire body there, and these long talon-like claws coming out from her palms as she looks towards you, Edlinn. Says,
"You should know. We are watching the mountains, and you're not welcome near the seeds."
Well, I'm on my way to a lake somewhere. I'm not quite sure where it is, but my companion knows, and when he gets up, I'll happily see if we're going to cross through your lands or not.
Good. My mistress asked for me to give you this.
and she's going to kind of reach in where her mane is kind of coming down her back. It's seemingly not so much actually hair, so much as an actual mane growing out of her neck in this sort of fur-like cuff going down her back. And she reaches down and kind of like scruffles in there and pulls out a small quill pen with a very iridescent feather that she's going to hand over to you and put on the ground just in front of you outside the firelight, and then skulk backwards there.
And to what do I owe the pleasure of this gift?
This is to show you have gained responsibility. Write down your adventures, and you will not be the only one to read them.
She's going to move back and away from the firelight and then dash off into the darkness.
I shall pick up the pen.
Okay. The rest of the night passes uneventfully. Kaz, you wake up and take your watch here. Go ahead and roll perception check as well. So the rest of the watch passes uneventfully.
All right.
Just to give you a heads up, I do have dark vision for 120 feet. Mm-hmm. So just saying.
Yeah, perfect. Well,
it's going great. It's going going great, guys.
You kind of wake up and you're finally on your adventure. This is it. This is what you've been reading about. This is what is in the storybooks. This is what is in the catalogs of the heroes that you have read about from history, from the age of myth from so long ago. Those great heroes who fought against the primeval giants from the elemental realms, drove them back and secured Anor as a place of peace and of life and prosperity within the tumult of the cacophony of elements. And you're honestly just kind of starstruck by what's happening right now, that this might actually be the path that you are now on. You take the note out and you read it over and over and over again, thinking about that finally this is what is going to... You're out forging your destiny, free from the influences of those who've tried to give you your path, where your path is yours to take.
Excellent.
Fortunately, during your revelry, nothing attacks you in the night. So you kind of like, towards the end of the watch, you're like, whoa, I really was zoned out there for a while.
The sun creeps up over this hillside.
Oh boy.
Well, I wasn't watching at all. Oh boy.
At this point, Edlinn, you also wake up and or finish your meditation at this point.
Okay.
Nothing to report. It was awfully quiet. I was keeping a good eye all night, and nothing happened.
Yes, you snore rather loudly.
I forgot my inhaler. I gotta go back. I have asthma. Yes.
All right. You rise for the day.
Yes.
And begin to, any last...
And that was a long rest?
That was a long rest. Go ahead and mark off one long rest. You are healed up. And you continue on your journey towards Lake Kapal and the strange gathering that has been given to you, you've been invited to.
Hopefully it won't be too much longer until we're there.
Okay.
Can I just keep my eyes peeled for just anything interesting? Like,
Okay, roll a perception check.
You know, I bought new metal dice today that aren't working out for me.
That's okay. They need to get the hitches rolled out of them.
We gotta play it through. We're good. Oh, it's a natural 20.
That is a natural freaking 20.
So, perception check, 21.
All right. So as you are moving through the forest here, accompanying Edlinn, who's kind of guiding you forward, you are, again, just kind of looking about in this kind of starry-eyed fashion, and you see a faint glimmer through the trees. The moving of a shape, pure white, opalescent, that gives off a faint glow. It turns towards you, and you can see this kind of these shimmering blue eyes looking out of you, a horse figure with a long horn coming out of its head. Similar shape to the rabbit you saw earlier.
Does everything out here have horns?
Well, you do.
Well, but I'm not really from here. But, I mean, I feel at place here and at peace.
It turns, looks towards you, and then fades like a ghost into the wilderness.
That's a really good trick. Hopefully I can do that one day.
And you continue your journey through the wilderness, onwards towards what adventures may come. And that is where we're going to call our session 0 for today, guys.
Okay.
Great job, and I'm so looking forward to getting everybody together on session 1 here in 2 weeks' time. So we got one more session 0, everybody, that we're going to be rolling into next week at 1 o'clock. So make sure to come in for that. We're going to have Alex, Garrett, and Bridget all together down in the town of Bara for who knows what hijinks. And then about 2 weeks from now, we're going to have our official session 1 where everyone's going to be all together, assuming nobody has any more brushes with strange gods in boats. It'll be fine. Anyway, so, what? Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay. And y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And we're going to go ahead and sign off with that.